What's up guys, Infernape here, and it's time for another amazing top 10 video. This video was inspired by the PokeTuber known as Dobbs, so I highly recommend you go check out his channel when you're done with this video. I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description below. I'm going to do my top 10 strongest starter Pokemon. Not only am I going to include the starter Pokemon in the games, I'm going to include the ones used in the anime. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and without further ado, let's get into the video. At number 10, we have Trip's Superior. Now, I will admit, I hate Trip with a passion, but I will admit that his Superior is OP as hell. All the way back in the first ever episode of the Black and White series, Trip was a new trainer and decided to choose a Snivy for his starter Pokemon. That was at the same time when Ash decided to challenge him to a Pokemon battle. And somehow, he lost to a level 5 Snivy that has never participated in a single battle. Now, I know that Pikachu was wounded by Zekrom and wasn't able to use any of its electric attacks. But still, that thing has taken down Regice and tied with a Latios. He should easily taken down a level 5 Snivy with the first quick attack. But no, Snivy managed to take it, tackle old Pikachu, and then killed it with a Leaf Storm. I mean, what the hell? Is this thing hacked? Then later on in the line, Ash and Trip had another Pokemon battle when Pikachu and Servine went up against each other, and he still lost to a couple Leaf Storms and cuts. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like, none of it makes sense at all. And then further along, it was Servine versus Snivy. Even though Snivy took out Servine beforehand, which doesn't make sense, he got beaten by that Servine with a Leaf Storm to guard the attract, and then a one-shot cut. That doesn't make sense. Like, can you tell me how this makes sense, please? But the stupidest thing of all is when it went into Superior, it took down Pokemon that usually are a bad matchup. Like, this thing has taken down a Darmanitan, Heatmore, Crustle, and Ash's Pignite with very little effort. And then finally, in the early qualifying round, Ash did manage to get his own back by defeating that Superior with Pikachu. And it did take quite a lot of damage from Superior with Energy Balls, Wrap, and quite a few Dragon Tails. And he still managed to win, but even though that Superior has taken down quite a lot of powerful Pokemon in Ash's squad, and Pokemon that I considered a bad matchup, I decided to put this Pokemon at number 10. But the further we go, the more powerful the starters are going to become. At number 9, we have the best starter to use in a Johto playthrough, and that is the powerful Typhlosion. Now, I'm sure many of you are going to say, "No, Feraligator's way better than Typhlosion. It's just a fire rat. Feraligator's an alligator." I'm afraid not. Like, let me run it down quickly. Like, grass types are absolutely crap in a Johto playthrough, so that means Chikorita's line is out. Now, it does come down to who is better between Cyndaquil and Totodile. Totodile is a very powerful Pokemon when it goes into the Feraligator stage, but it doesn't really have that many advantages over gym leaders. So that only leaves the best Pokemon, in my own opinion, in that region, Cyndaquil, and then eventually Typhlosion. If you don't believe that Typhlosion is the best starter to use in a Johto playthrough, I recommend you go check out Arizo's best starter for a Johto playthrough, and into Mr. Umbreon's team builder for a Johto playthrough. But still, it is a very powerful Pokemon to use, especially with a Stab Flamethrower or Eruption. It is so useful to use. Like, that thing has saved me so many times in a Johto playthrough, I cannot even mention it. Also, fun fact, if you didn't know, Cyndaquil was actually the first ever Pokemon I ever called my own. And that's why I decided to put it on this list. Thank you, Typhlosion, for making me fall in love with fire types in the first place. At number 8, we have the most popular Pokemon in the Kalos region. And that is the Frog Ninja himself, Greninja. Now, of course, I'm talking about when you use it in a playthrough. Froakie is definitely the best one to use in a Kalos playthrough. Greninja is just so overpowered. Like, it's just really good. Like, it can help you with so many of the gym leaders. And I've actually taken down Karina with Greninja with only one aerial ace each time. Like, this just proves how powerful Greninja is. I just love Greninja, and I just love using it in a playthrough. But not only is Greninja amazing in a playthrough, it's amazing and competitive as well. You can either give it the protein ability and give it a crap ton of different moves, or you can be even ballsy and go with the Ash Greninja line. I highly recommend you do the Ash Greninja because it is overpowered as hell. But let's be honest, Greninja itself is overpowered as hell. And that's why I had to put this amazing Frog Ninja in this list. At number 7, we have the best starter to use, in my own opinion, for a Hoenn playthrough. And that is Blaziken from the games. Before all you Blaziken haters and Swampert lovers start to comment, no, Swampert's way better than Blaziken, it's got a tight matchup. Let me run it down. Again, Sceptile isn't the best one to use, so the grass type is out. Which leaves it down to Torchic and Mudkip. But still, like, it may be really good at some gym leaders, but it doesn't really have like very super effective moves against the gym leaders. So that means I had to pick Torchic and more Blaziken for this list. Like, seriously, if you really want to sweep through a Hoenn playthrough, definitely give it Blaze Kick and Brick Break, I think. That would definitely be an amazing combo. And maybe even Bulk Up. That way you can even raise its attack stat even further and boost its defense as well. Not only that, later on, you can even give it an overpowered Mega Evolution. You heard me right. Blaziken's Mega Evolution is overpowered. It actually is in the Ubers for Smogon, but not only that, regular Blaziken is actually in Uber as well. Just because of one ability, and that's its hidden ability, Speed Boost. If you don't know what Speed Boost is, basically after each turn, Blaziken's speed will go up by one stage. We'll making it faster and even more powerful. So give it a few bulk ups, give it a few speed boosts, and then just sweep. And that's why Blaziken had to be on this list. At number 6, we have Ash's Pikachu from the anime. I mean, come on. Was there any doubts that I was going to put this on the list? That thing is overpowered. It's just really powerful. Like, it's taken so many Pokemon down, starting and from lots of ground types with Thunderbolt, mainly Onix, Golem from the movie, and Rhydon from Blaine's Gym Battle. But it's also taken down legendary Pokemon. One pseudo-legendary Pokemon as well. It's taken down a Dragonite. Oh wait, it's also taken down a Metagross. 2 legendaries in all. Like, it's taken down Regice and tied with Latios. This thing is just overpowered as hell. I know that loads of people say that Ash's Pikachu's level gets resetted each time he visits a region, but I don't really buy it, to be honest. Still, Pikachu is an amazing Pokemon, and I could not keep it out of this list. At number 5, we have the strongest starter from the Sinnoh region, and my favourite Pokemon of all time. It is Infernape from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Now, before any of you tell me I only put Infernape on here just because it's my favourite Pokemon of all, you're wrong. Infernape is overpowered. Hear me out. Not only is it great in a playthrough of Diamond, Pearl and Platinum, it is also amazing in competitive play. Give your Infernape the jolly nature, along with its hidden ability Iron Fist, and then give it Swords Dance, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Muck Punch, and then EV train it with max speed, max attack, and a little bit in defense or special defense. That Infernape will wreck any Pokemon that you can think of. I have used this Infernape in many occasions in competitive, and I cannot imagine Infernape not on my team. At number 4, we have Ash's Greninja from the Pokemon anime. I also didn't put Ash Greninja on here just because it's my second favourite Pokemon of all time. That thing is powerful. Anybody who doesn't think it's powerful is horribly mistaken. That Greninja has taken down lots of Pokemon in the anime, and it's also taken down quite a lot of Pokemon in competitive as well. Well, trust me, I've used an Ash Greninja in the games, and it is overpowered. If you have your own Ash Greninja, it's already got the modest nature, and it probably is also been EV trained as well. So, if you want to make a powerful Greninja, you need to give it Hydro Pump, Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, and Ice Beam. And give it the Life Orb as well. That Greninja will wreck any Pokemon on the field. It has done for me on many occasions, and I love Ash Greninja for it. At number 3, we have Flint's Infernape from the games and the anime. Anybody that doesn't think Flint's Infernape is overpowered is a fool. That thing is OP as hell, but in both the games and the anime. I'll start with the games. Flint's Infernape is the ace of his team in Diamond and Pearl. In Platinum, it's a Magmortar. But still, Infernape in the games is overpowered. I'm not sure what nature it has, or if it's like EV trained or max IVs or whatever, but I do know what moves it has. Flint's Infernape's moveset is Flare Blitz, Muck Punch, Thunder Punch, and Earthquake. And it's the same moveset for Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. It's a very powerful moveset, alright, but with the right Pokemon, you can beat it. And now let's move on to Flint's Infernape in the anime. When we first meet Flint, we find out that he's originally from Sunyshore City. And when he was a kid, there was lots of hoodlums and shady characters around, so they had to become stronger in order to protect themselves. Eventually, he did win 8 gym badges and competed in the Sinnoh League and won the whole thing when Infernape was still a Monferno. And somehow, he didn't actually see the whole battle. Somehow, Monferno managed to win against an overpowered Snorlax. And it's definitely quite impressive to see a Monferno take down a Snorlax. And then we find out how overpowered that Infernape really is. It has Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Muck Punch, and Thunder Punch. And then later on it learns Overheat, but I'm not sure what move he gave up for it, so I'm sticking with that moveset. And then Ash had a battle against Flint. He wrecked his Buizel with a Flare Blitz, took out Ash's own Infernape with a single Muck Punch, and Pikachu did manage to take some attacks and managed to get back up, but he did lose eventually. And then later on, he battles against Jasmine, who's a gym leader from Johto, and her overpowered Steelix. And he still one-shot her with a Flare Blitz. But to be honest, that's really no surprise. And then finally came the title battle between Flint and Cynthia herself. Now, in the anime, Infernape is the only known Pokemon that we have, so we assume that Infernape managed to take out 2 of Cynthia's Pokemon before losing. But it was definitely an amazing fight, and it definitely proves how powerful that Infernape really is. But there are still 2 other Pokemon, in my own opinion, that can overpower Flint's Infernape. At number 2, we have a Pokemon that wasn't in the original Pokemon anime, but it's still a very powerful Pokemon. I'm talking about Red's Charizard from the Pokemon Origins Saga. In the Pokemon Origins, we find out that Red is a brash idiot that only he thought Pokemon were tools for battle, and he didn't really know about type matchups. To be honest, I don't really think he still gets type matchups, because he used the Jolteon in a ground type gym. But still, he does learn eventually, and his Charizard became overpowered as hell. Eventually, Red grew and grew, and managed to win all 8 gym badges, and he formed a very powerful bond with his Charizard. And after beating Blue and his Blastoise, which is the 3rd strongest Pokemon in the Origins series, he actually becomes champion and then goes off and completes the Pokédex. But he realizes he caught 149 different Pokemon. And it wasn't until Blue told him that he got his ass beaten by a mysterious Pokemon in Cerulean Cave, he wanted that Pokemon. So he set off to Cerulean Cave to track down Mewtwo. And he did put up a decent fight, but 5 of his Pokemon got beaten. Even though we didn't see the 5 Pokemon get beaten, we only got to see a Gengar and assumed it lost. And we also saw Articuno lose to Mewtwo as well. And it all came down to his partner Pokemon, Charizard. And it was an epic fight. Now, for a while, it looked like that Mewtwo was about to kill Charizard because he threw him into the water along with Red. But it wasn't until then that when Red set after Charizard, the 2 Stone Owns that Mr. Fuji gave him start to react. And that caused the first ever Mega Evolution. Considering all the things that happened along with Red and Charizard, managed to win lots of Pokemon battles and managed to hold his own against a legendary Pokemon, I decided to put a Charizard at number 2. Number 1 is only just slightly more powerful than Red's Charizard, but it was pretty close. And finally, at number 1, we have Alan's Charizard from the Pokemon anime. During Alan's beginnings, we find him as Professor Sycamore's assistant, and he wanted to learn more about Mega Evolutions. So he decided to take a Charmander and begin a Pokemon journey to learn more about Mega Evolution. Eventually, he came across a guy called Lysander. We all know who that is. And he decided to make a deal with Alan. He decided to employ Alan, and in return, he gave Alan a Mega Ring and a Charizardite X, which means he gave Alan the opportunity to Mega Evolve his Charizard. We first see how overpowered this Charizard is by witnessing a battle between him and a trainer with her Mega Absol. And Mega Absol basically didn't stand a chance. We then later see up against a Mega Garchomp. And it was a touch-and-go battle, and Charizard won again. But it wasn't up until we get to see a battle against him and Seaballs with his Mega Blastoise. It was a bit of a touch-and-go fight, but Charizard ended up losing. And that was the only time we ever seen his Mega Charizard lose. And then after that, he continued winning against many powerful Pokemon, such as Mega Metagross, such as Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, Mega Rayquaza, 10 Mega Evolutions to keep his Mega Stone and his Mega Ring, and so many other Pokemon. Not only that, he also managed to beat Ash, even though that wasn't much of an accomplishment, but that's not all. If you didn't already know, Ash has usually defeated his main rivals at least once, but Alan is the only exception to that rule. He has never, ever beaten Alan. Like, he's just so overpowered. And he's got 5 amazing Pokemon. The 6th is Unpheasant, and we all know Unpheasant sucks. But considering that Alan's Charizard has taken down many powerful Megas, 2 Primal Reversion Pokemon, and Mega Rayquaza himself, I couldn't resist putting Alan's Charizard at number 1. There you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did, and I also hope you tell me what you think is the most powerful starter in both the anime and the games, or both. If you enjoyed the video as much as I did, please give it a massive thumbs up, comment down below, share this video with a friend, and if you're new, subscribe to my channel to be an Inferno today. Also, if you haven't already, comment down below what you think I should do when I hit my subscriber goal, which is 50 subscribers. The best one with the best idea wins. Okay, that's all from me, so until the next time, this is Inferno, signing off. Bye!